And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That'll do, Pig.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box?
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, an ick.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
We certainly do have a problem. Hello and welcome into 52/1995, your live movie conversation podcast where we discuss movies from the year 1995. I am your host, Cody, and I'm joined by my co-host this week, Crafty. Welcome in, Crafty.
Yeah, thanks for having me here, Cody. Appreciate you having me on. Excited to be here tonight.
Absolutely. If this is your first time joining us, welcome in. We're happy for you to join us today. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, typically we do 52 movies from the year 1995 every week, but every month we have a couple of extra movies that don't quite make the cut, so we want to give them their due. And we usually do this in what we call our extra credit themes, and this month our topic is youths, which means our movies this month are all about the teens. Not, some of them are a little bit funny, some of them are a little bit fun, and some of them are a little bit more dramatic, I would say, and have a little bit more of a serious tone to them. But before we get into that, let's talk to Crafty a little bit about how this all came together, and maybe you tell us a little bit about Video Game Happy Hour, your Discord community, all that stuff. Just tell us how it came to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Crafty. I am the host of the Video Game Happy Hour podcast. And so how we met is one of the co-hosts, City Clicker. He was browsing around on Twitch, and he stumbled on 52 slash, and so I thought it was like a phenomenal and interesting concept because, the movies from the 90s, that's like right in my wheelhouse from when I grew up and I was really interested in movies. And so basically we got to chatting and we joined your Discord. A few of us joined your Discord, Cody, and we had a collaboration, and you were on our show. I think it was, about a month ago or so now.
Yeah, I think it was a month.
Yeah. So, it was a fun episode. We were talking about, we leaned into the theme of what you're doing here. We talked about some movies from 1995. Like, I think we did our favorite ones from 1995 and our favorite games from 1995.
Which was a little bit harder to come up with those video games. Better movie year than a video game year.
Yeah, by far. Absolutely. It wasn't even close, for sure. And so, for Video Game Happy Hour, it's a video game podcast, if you couldn't tell from the name there. But basically what we do is we chat. Typically we'll chat about like whatever the hot game of the week is, or maybe like a hot gaming topic, any like hot news or something like that. And occasionally we do, collaboration episodes like we did here with, Cody, and we kind of took a time machine back to 1995 and talked about what games and movies were like then. So we try to keep it fun and light. That's what we're all about. We're just looking to build a fun community for where people can play games together. Like right now, we're doing a game club where it's like a book club but nerdier. It's for games. So we get together, we play a game, and the commitment's about 5 hours a week, and we chat about the games. Right now, we're doing Space Marine 2, and then we'll be voting on our next game coming up here in May. So excited to be here tonight.
No, I love that. And that's one thing I really enjoy about you and your podcast and your community. I really like the community, getting into the Discord server. I might not speak in there as much as I would like to, but I have always loved that idea that you have of like the book club. It goes, along with kind of what we're doing here. This is essentially like a movie club, but we do it once a week. But I love the video game book club, essentially what it is. So I love that idea. It wasn't the game for me this time around, but maybe next month I'll vote, and I'll get involved in that and do some video game book club and join y'all. That would be a lot of fun. So other things. So how did you get started doing Video Game Happy Hour?
Basically, I like to chat about video games, I guess. I've been a well, I'm a podcast guy. I've been listening to podcasts for, geez, going back now. I think I started in like 2005, 2006 or something
Yeah.
like that. And so I've been listening to and consuming podcasts for a long time. And myself and co-host City Clicker, James Press Start, Wanda Savril, we decided to just start up a podcast to talk about games. We all like talking about games and really building community. We've been friends with a bunch. We have a core group of community members, and we just wanted to extend that out to and find meet new people, and hence we're here. And so it's been an exciting journey so far to meet new friends, and so that's kind of what we're about is just really building that community, meeting friends, and making new friends.
Yeah, I love it, and I'm glad that you found me and that I found you back, and it was fun. I'm excited to do another episode of your show if you'll have me. I'm not going to put pressure you into it.
No, I'd
Uh,
love to have you back. It was a good one too, for sure.
yeah, absolutely. We've got a question in the chat. What's your favorite movie adaptation of a video game?
Oh, can I cheat and
Yeah,
say a
yeah.
TV show?
Oh yeah.
Because Fallout, I would say, is by far the best. So that would be my cheat. I'm trying to think of a movie.
There's not a lot of good ones.
Yeah, I mean, even like The Last of Us is a newer TV show, and that's
Mhm.
pretty popular. Um, so yeah, I would I mean, there's the Resident Evil, I guess. I'm just
But they don't really
trying
follow
to
the games. Like
yeah.
that's the thing I didn't like about Resident Evil. I wanted to.
Oh, I have one actually. If
Okay,
I have to
perfect.
pick a movie, it's the Super Mario Brothers movie. I actually really enjoyed that. So
The new one or the old one?
the new one. The old
Okay.
one has a special place in my heart too, I suppose.
Yeah, we talked about that one on the 1993 when we started this. I think it was a 1993 movie, and not a great movie, but it does have that nostalgia factor that goes into a lot of these movies that we're watching. That I was like, I loved this when I was a kid, but maybe it doesn't quite hold up. And talk about a movie that's very far off from what the game was. That original one is not that great. So. Where can they find you? I guess is the last thing I'll leave you with
Yeah,
before we get into everything else.
sure. The easiest way to find us is going to videogamehappyhour.com. Has our links to YouTube and our podcast. Really, Video Game Happy Hour. You can find that anywhere podcasts are available. Otherwise, videogamehappyhour.com has links to if you want to join our Discord and chat about games and maybe join the next game club that we'll be doing. We try to get together sometimes for game nights. Scheduling's hard for that. But yeah, videogamehappyhour.com. You can find all the links that you may want there.
Sounds great. Thank you for all that information. And everybody, whoever's watching, if you're new to Video Game Happy Hour or you didn't get the chance to check out that episode that I was on, it's really fun. They are just usually it's like 3 or 4 of you all just chatting about video games. It's very, I don't know, cozy is the word that I'm going to say. And maybe that's not the word that you want to say, but like it is. It's just, friends talking about video games. It's not, y'all don't take it like super seriously, and you have a lot of fun with it, and that's what I really like about it. So
Yeah, we have a lot of gaming knowledge, so we have a lot of we can be serious about certain topics and get a little heated and disagree with each other or whatever. But yeah, the idea is just having fun and chatting about games. So yeah, I like that. I like that. It's cozy.
yeah, I like that. I've been listening to a lot more like just conversation podcasts recently, movie ones, but some of my favorites, they just end up being two guys talking about a movie back and forth with no real structure or anything. And I've been really into that. Not saying that you don't have structure, because you do have structure, but I like when you guys get off onto these freeform tangents and stuff. It's really good.
We have structure, but yes, we do. We are not afraid to go on some tangents.
Yeah. Do you stream video games like on Twitch other than the Video Game Happy Hour stuff? I don't know if you want to promote that at all or anything.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get in a schedule to do that on like Tuesday nights. It's tough. I don't want this to be like a job. I mean, we have no interest in this is just purely a passion project just
Yeah.
for fun. And so I think I'm thinking about doing it Tuesday nights. But yeah, the show, by the way, yeah, you can catch us live too. We do our show live on Friday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, I do occasionally stream some games. Like I think not this last Tuesday, the Tuesday before, a new Oblivion,
Mhm.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion was like a shadow drop. They didn't really talk about it. They just announced the game, and then there it was. And so I played that game on stream. So I'll do that occasionally.
Nice. Well, check them out there. Check out Crafty there. Like I said, a really fun Discord server over there at Video Game Happy Hour, the podcast. Subscribe to that on wherever you subscribe to your podcast. I know we're all subscribing there, but I'll go over that again at the end. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these movies that I forced you to watch or asked you to watch.
Yeah.
And those 4 movies are Angus, Empire Records, Kids, and the movie Hackers. And I know for a fact that you and I talked about Hackers on your podcast, and you were talking about how that was one of, I think you had it on your top 5 list of 95 movies.
I did, and I rewatched it, and I regret having it on my top 5 list. Maybe
I liked it. After I watched it, I was like, I've got so much respect for Crafty after that. Bold choice. Because it's a fun movie. I'll say that. It's not great. It's not, reminiscent, or it's not what hacking is or anything, but it was, I don't know, cool. That was like the counterculture at the time, and it was super cool. And I was like, no, I enjoyed Hackers more on this rewatch than I initially did.
Yeah, I think what got to me is like I was kind of summoning like my past 1995 Crafty, in a way.
Yeah, where were you? Who were you in 1995?
1995, I was still in high school, so I was like, I think junior, senior, I guess technically part of 95. I was, so yeah, so that definitely dates me very kind of specifically there. But so I don't know. I thought it was cool, and like one of my pet peeves now is like being like a technology person. Like now, when I see like the fake computer stuff, it's like, oh man, this is and that's like that does that in spades. Where I don't know how I might be jumping ahead here, but
No.
so but there's a lot of that in this movie. Like, oh, we're hackers, and then they put on like a VR glasses, and they like hack somehow with VR glass. It's like, this is not even close to remotely how this works. And then they start seeing like math equations spin around, and it's like, this is, I don't know.
No, and it's a really popular thing over the last 3 years of watching all these movies. Even I think it was 94, Disclosure. Have you ever seen the movie Disclosure?
I have, but I couldn't. I'm not familiar. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Familiar.
Well, it's a movie about, an essay case, I guess, like a boss getting taken advantage, or a boss taking advantage of their subordinate, but it's like a woman boss taking advantage of her male subordinate. Anyway, that's what the movie's about. But there is a wild VR scene in that movie that should not even take place. But they're all that
Okay.
they're all like these weird shit, like Lawnmower Man. You remember Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember.
It's got that weird
Yeah.
VR animation in it, and that seems to be a really popular thing in the early to mid 90s. I think another movie that we're not discussing, and I think we talked about it on your pod as well, was The Net with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Again, I think I just need to leave certain movies in the past and just let them good memories stand here, because like Hackers, I was pretty disappointed when I saw it, because I remember you saying, I was like, oh yeah, I was excited, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good movie, and you're like, no, it's not.
I feel bad though.
Well, like, no, you are absolutely correct. It is not it doesn't hold up as a rewatch. It's cheesy fun. Yes, there's certain cheese and fun to it, and like you can laugh at it, I suppose. But I don't think it was not going for that angle back then.
No.
It was
But
not.
that's because we didn't know any better back then. If you think about it, like you are a teenager at that time. I'm a little younger than you, but like that's what we all assumed that the internet was because it was
Correct.
so new, it was so fresh, and not everybody had it. I mean, I don't. My family didn't even get a 56K modem until probably I'm trying to say maybe 5 years after
Yeah.
1990. So 2000, I think, is when we actually got like dial-up internet. So
From the Big Lots, or did
yeah,
you get
from the
get
Big
that?
Lot. Man, you got that memory. Uh, we were all about the Big Lots. The Big Lots is opening up down the street, so it's
Nice.
reopening. We're
Nice.
we're really lucky here. But that's, I mean, that's the way it was. Like one of my favorite movies that this is what I'll give you tell you is like it's okay to have that as your favorite movie. Just don't recommend it to people. And
Right.
because like The Wizard is one of my favorite movies of all time. It introduced Super Mario Brothers 3, Fred
Mhm.
Savage, the video game tournament. The video game, if you like sit down and analyze that for what it is, it's a terrible movie. The video game playing alone in it makes zero sense. But I love that movie so much. It is like a comfort movie to me. So I think you should stick with your liking of hackers.
Yeah, well, that's ruined. You ruined it. You
I
ruined it for
ruined it.
me.
My bad. Johnny Lee Miller in this movie does have the worst American accent I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I guess there was I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I think he's either British or Scottish. He was in Train Spotting, if you remember that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's one of my takeaways from this movie. What takeaways did you, as you sat down and watched it? This movie had a 33% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so it was not highly rated back then either. But what are some of your takeaways from Hackers?
Other than the existential crisis of like me doubting all of my all of my past memories,
Oh man,
um, I would say, oh man, yeah, the accent is, now that you mention it, I was like wondering, it's like, man, is he trying to like be bad or what? It was very awkward. Um, yeah, I don't see. Okay, let me set some context and why I'm kind of hesitating here. I'm not like, I'm out of my element a little bit with
Mhm.
movies. So just a history with my movie background is that I've super into movies back in the day, because that's really growing up. Didn't have internet, and this was video games and movies, and TV was hit or miss because you had to like be there at a certain time.
Yeah,
So I watched tons of movies in the 90s, and so these are kind of like the movies. It's just that I never was like now with video games, I can be like analytical and tell you, well, yes, this game is good, but here's kind of like the shortcomings. With movies. It's kind of like I'm pretty simple. It's like, did I like it or did I not? So I think like standing out for me, I just kept watching this and being like, why? I think it was just like an emotional thing for me. It's like, why? I should have just left
I
this.
feel like
I was so distracted.
I feel like I ruined it so bad for you.
No, it wasn't you. No, because I've had this experience with other things. Like it's not like it's not the first time I've went back to watch something and it's like, yeah, this doesn't hold up, So
This happened to me recently with a movie that we just watched, Major Pain. If you remember that movie, like I loved that movie. I can quote that movie. And I have
Mhm.
quoted it my entire life. And I went back and watched it. I was like, these jokes just do not hold up in the same way that like Billy Madison does or Tommy Boy we did last week. They just hold up so well. But Major Pain just did not. And so I get where you're coming from watching some of these movies that you used to love. So
Yeah, and I thought, oh, here, okay, something else that stands out to me is the what they were wearing. It's just so odd. It was like they were trying to be like, oh yeah, we're cool, like punk slash techno kids. I don't know what vibe, like, especially since that the age that they're portraying those people to be in that movie was about the age I was, and like there was
Mhm.
no one wearing anything like that ever. I mean, it was set in New York, so maybe New York. I don't know, but I it was an interesting dress that they all kind of that they subscribe to. Now
Yeah.
fast forward to now, so it's actually a little bit maybe, ahead of its time because I think some of that attire definitely kind of I've seen it in more recent times, like for sure. But back then it was definitely
I
not
feel like
not
this
the norm.
movie was ahead of its time because I think that some of the teen like the style that is in this movie is like early 2000 style, Y2K style, I would say, with the big pants and like some of the, weird stuff. And that's again what's popular now is like that 2000s, just like the 90s was popular, 5 years ago. Now the early 2000s are the hot thing. So maybe this is a movie for a new generation.
Agreed. Yeah, especially the hacking parts.
Oh, I said this is what I put on my notes after watching that. I said this is the quintessential I'm in the mainframe movie. Like, where people just say the most ridiculous like I've got the football and we're moving towards the goalpost and they're just saying the most ridiculous things as they're hacking into these
Yeah.
uh whatever they're hacking into.
Yeah, and now that I think of it, Tron, like that was all about like going into the computer. So I think
Mhm.
maybe there was just more of that back then where maybe that's where people thought is like that's what these computer nerds do. They're like they get in the computer, they zone out. It's like it's totally misrepresents like at all what it's like. So
Now, I did
yeah.
like the stuff about them like doing the tones in the phone.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
that's
that's
real.
accurate, right? Yeah.
That so yeah, some of it was yeah, you're right. I mean, some of it was definitely real with like I think they call it freaking or whatever.
Mhm.
Is that what that's what they call the phone stuff? And so that is actually accurate.
Yeah, so, okay, and then the Angelina Jolie of it all. She looked great. And this is like the America's, like, introduction into Angelina
It
Jolie.
is it? I didn't so is that her like one of her I'm sure
It's
she did things before that, but that is that like
Yeah.
the first big thing?
I think this was, like, her first, like, leading role in a movie was this, and, uh I think it puts her on the scene. I think she gets a couple extra movies, like, or she gets some movies after this in the later '90s. But I really do think this was like her kind of big break. Not how big a break it is, I don't really know, but it does ends up being the Angelina Jolie that we know today. So she does all right after it, but I bet 16, 17-year-old Crafty was into hacker girl Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I definitely that's maybe kind of what carried me through all these years of like thinking it was good. Yeah. I thought like one thing as like maybe another the style thing. I don't know why this stands out, but also I like noticed that women had a lot of like pixie cuts were a big thing back then. I guess I kind of remember that now, but I kind of forgot about how popular that was because that was like like that kind of was something jumping ahead to Empire Records, but that was kind of like something I noticed in that movie
Mhm.
too.
Yeah,
So
Winona Ryder was huge during this time. She always had the short hair, and I think after like Reality Bites and some of the other movies that she was in during that time, I think the Winona cut was what everybody was going for. So
okay, okay.
it's
Yeah.
uh it's called a manic pixie dream girl, and they have to put them in all these movies so that the guys have something to yearn for. Be like, hey, why can't you be more like this person? Um, so that's what we've been doing for decades in movies, is creating this fictionalized version of a woman and just putting her up on a pedestal. But I digress. This is just me having too many conversations with my girlfriend about how men are dogs and aren't good at creating women characters. So,
Yes, that's probably true. I mean,
any uh, any other thoughts on Hackers? I don't want to keep you on this movie for too much, but
I think no, I think I said everything that came to mind for that.
all right, your choice now. Which movie would you rather move into next?
Empire Records, I think, is the.
That's the one that I've watched the most
Oh.
recently, so I think that's a good one.
So depends on you want to end because I couldn't watch Kids, but
Yeah, do we want to end on a? Let's do Kids after Empire Records.
okay.
That way we don't end on such a sour note.
Yeah, there you go. So I thought initially when you gave me the list of movies, I recognized the name for this movie and I thought that I've seen it, but watching it, either I seen it back in the day and I completely blanked on it, which I don't think happened.
Mhm.
I don't. So that was like my first thing is I didn't. The first time watching it, I'll just put that out there.
Okay, yeah. And what did you think? I mean, this movie at the time had it has a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, so a little bit better rating than Hackers, which I'm a little surprised by because if I'm going nostalgia with all of these, this is my personal favorite out of all them all. So
Okay, so this one I had no nostalgia for, and if I did, it was completely erased. And this one took me back more, even though I didn't have the nostalgia watching it. It kind of I had a nostalgic feeling for that time because
Mhm.
again, it's interesting. I didn't even put this connection together that the theme is like youths, but like these movies are all like basically people that really aren't this age acting as people that were like
Yeah.
my age at the time. And so I definitely could relate to like you know, the plot of the movie obviously is that it's kids working at a record store. And I at the time I worked at a video game store, which was like across the street from kind of like an Empire Records esque place. And so I would spend a lot of time going there because I would work and I would be buying CDs. And
Mhm.
so I'd be there all the time. And I always thought like, oddly, I always had this, I was like, oh man, these people are way cooler than me. Like I'm a dork working at a video game store and like these cool people, working at a CD store. They must get like really good discounts. And I still play games, but at that age, I was like still, I was very into music. And so I guess I think it really kind of captured that time period pretty accurately with, the type of people you'd see kind of working in
Yeah.
a record store like that.
I completely get that. Like the people that worked in Sam Goody in my hometown, which having a Sam Goody alone was like a big deal for us. But I always thought those people were the coolest people when I was in junior high and high school. Same thing with like this is gonna like be as I can't believe I'm saying this, but like the people that worked in Hot Topic were always the people that I was like, yeah, I like those people. They wear black clothing and they have piercings and tattoos and all this other stuff. They have to be cool as hell. So I completely get what you're saying from that. I thought that when my sister worked at a movie theater, and I think she's your age, but I thought my sister was the coolest individual in the world because she worked at the movie theater. I was like, I bet she gets a lot of, she has a lot of fun. She gets a lot of discounts, gets to see free movies. So, yeah, it has that to it. Definitely. Like you have that anytime. If you've ever worked retail or in the food industry, you have that camaraderie with your coworkers too. And that's what this feels like. It feels like a second family. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
I would call some of the people that I worked with at some of the places like Staples that I worked at family, but it does have that nostalgia to it or that feel to it.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I can see those parallels. When I worked at Funkoland, it was a smaller group of people, so it was like a, second family, dysfunctional, if you will. I mean, you're kind of, and that's kind of what this movie was. Is that everyone had their weird quirk and personality,
Oh yeah.
and some of them, I forget what the one kid's name was. The guy that just kind of like he uh he would just run around and say he didn't even like really say words. He just kind of like he's kind of like Joe. Like I don't know.
Was he the one with the band?
Yeah, the one with the band and
Mark. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
actually the youngest person in this movie. He's younger. He was younger than you when this movie came out. So he is actually that age. Everybody else is like 20 something. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so he like his character was kind of goofy, and like some of the things that he did were borderline creepy. With like there was like a lady listening to a record, and he kind of just like, I don't know, went up behind her and like like essentially like sniffed her. I don't know, and
yeah,
like she
it
was
was
like dancing and raised her leg, and he like ballet dancing or whatever. And he like grabbed her leg. I'm like, yeah, different time. There's no 90s, you know. It's just like this is completely inappropriate. Like this would not fly.
definitely would
you
not
get
fly.
you'd get probably arrested immediately for doing that in 2025.
Yeah, it's but that's like I don't know. I think that's the fun of the movie. I think that not that scene in particular, but you wanted to work at a place that was a little bit more free, like less rules, and that's all what Empire Records is about, is being under that independent name and not becoming a big box store like Tower Records or Sam Goody or whatever the record stores end up becoming during this time. Whether I'm trying to FYE is another one, I guess. That's more of the mall, but it's you get away with a lot more things. Now that was creepy. You're absolutely right.
I mean, it wasn't. He didn't mean anything weird.
Right.
It was weird, but it was like he was innocent. I mean, it wasn't like there was like weird intent. It was just like he's an awkward dude, and yeah, that would just be
Yes.
something 2025 would not be okay. So
I don't think this movie can be remade in 2025, to be honest with you. One, we have a dying, in-person shopping market, but
yeah, that's true. It's true.
I
Well,
think
you can
that
still go back in time. I mean, you can still have a
oh
a
yeah.
time a timepiece or whatever they're called. But like it's set in time and go back. I'm just trying to think if there's anything like socially or whatever that doesn't. I'm trying to think. I don't know. That stands out to me. Everything else, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
What did you think of Rex Manning?
so the Rex Manning thing, I mean, it's kind of your classic burnt. I mean, it seemed cliche. I don't know. It's very like I don't see. That's the thing about these movies or these stories is like this can't be the first time that type of story was told, where it's
Mhm.
like the burnt out musician trying to still thinks he's got it, doesn't really have it or whatever.
Right.
Um,
It's like the Partridge Family. I can't think of what those guys' names are that were in the Partridge Family. Cassidy, like David Cassidy or whatever. I think that's what this is trying to be. So it is just reminiscent of that and playing off of, I think, the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch and all those kinds of uh, characters. But the Rex Manning, the only reason I bring it up is because we just passed it. April 8th is officially Rex Manning Day. And
oh, okay.
it is celebrated every year as the day to watch Empire Records. So, just like you watch Groundhog Day on Groundhog Day and all your Christmas movies at Christmas time, you can watch Empire Records April 8th. For
Okay,
Rex
good to
Manning
know.
Day.
I did not know. I'll have to add that to my calendar.
I was gonna do that. I was actually gonna make a list of like every movie that corresponds to a day, and that be like my watch list for a year. Is try and have uh, as many movie. I do not think that there is one for every single day of the year, but you could probably find some. Like,
Yeah, you can make it up.
yeah,
You
you can
just
make it up.
just be the
This is the
trendsetter
day.
there. You just deem this day is I'm sure Back to the Future has a day, right? Because of
I was
the
actually
date
getting
and
ready to mention that one. It's like I think it's like November 5th, 1955. So every November 5th, you should watch Back to the Future. And I think there's some other one like election day ones that you could do, and um, Valentine's Day, of course, you could do. But I always thought that would be a fun little idea, is to try and have some movies that correspond with these different dates.
yeah, I wonder if you could do like a AI search of like list
Ooh.
of movies with dates written down in them because like or that occur on a date because like again, the Back to the Future one just randomly occurs on whatever day. I'm sure there's other movies that have that kind
Yeah.
of timestamp that are like, it's this day and it's based on like that week or maybe those couple days or something like that.
Demolition Man actually takes place on my birthday. So
Oh,
if you
nice.
ever remember Demolition Man,
I love it. I see.
I'm not going to say anything about Demolition Man if you like Demolition Man.
No, I like it. No, I
Okay.
like it, and I think that was the first episode I listened to your show, and it did break my heart a little bit because you and I can't remember who was on the show were kind of roasting a few parts of it. That I'm like, oh man, see, you can't be mean to this movie. It's just
It's fun. It is a lot. There are so many movies like that in the 90s that are like Stallone movies, especially at this part. How many Rockies are we in? Yeah, this is a popular movie opinion here. How do you feel about the movie Junior?
um
Do you remember that movie?
I is that with Schwarzenegger?
It is. It's been the most
Um,
polarizing movie on 52 slash.
I'd have to
I'll just give you the
yeah.
premise. He gets pregnant.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I don't know if I've caught that one because of that premise. I'm like, I don't know. It was like it just I don't know if
It is a wild watch in 2025.
yeah, that's probably
And it is. I gave it 5 stars, and my
okay.
co-host gave it 1 star.
Okay.
I will say it is not it is not a good movie, but I had the best time watching it because it's that bad. It's good.
Yeah, I get it. Kind of, yeah. That makes sense. I mean, especially now I'm just trying to think if I watched it. I may have watched part of it and I'm just like, nah, no thanks. And at
Yeah.
the time,
A lot of people confuse it with Twins too, because
Yeah.
again, it's that Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger team up. So, yeah, it's just it's kind of like the question that you gave me out of nowhere on your episode
Yeah.
about wearing underwear underneath my swim trunks. So,
Yeah.
this might be a new thing if we get some more people on here. How do you feel about Junior?
Yeah, I don't have
Um,
strong feelings. Sorry.
yeah, no, it's okay. Anything else about Empire Records that you wanted to mention?
No, I think we kind of covered the dysfunctional family. I thought that, it's a shame because it seems like if I watched this movie back in the day, I probably would have like, stronger
Loved it.
feelings for it and
Yeah.
like it. But watching it in 2025, I'm like, yeah, I see it makes me feel things of like, holy crap, that was, 30 years ago. Um, but and I think they kind of nail that vibe, but it was so hard for me to like relate to these characters now.
Mhm.
30. So again, like if I've watched it back then, maybe I'd have like more of these connections and like the end of the movie was like I mean, I'm assuming we don't care about spoilers and
Oh,
30-year-old
no,
movies.
not at
Okay.
all.
So it's
Yeah, 30-year-old movies, we are spoiler. Yeah, give it all.
but like the way that even the way Hackers wraps up is like the most cheesiest thing and like the way that this movie wraps up, it's like I don't like the whole stress is because they're trying to recoup the $9,000 that Lucas takes, right?
Mhm.
And then at the end, oh yeah, let's just throw a party. And then the guy that wants this money is like, never mind, I don't want it anyway. It's like, what the hell kind of like cheesy, like nonsensical ending is this? It makes zero, it's like plot armor, like there's no sense to it. It
Yeah.
makes zero sense other than like this is how we wanted to end the movie.
Yes, and apparently this movie has so much, like, left on the cutting room floor. Like, it was supposed to happen over 2 days. There are complete characters that were written, like, completely cut out. Toby Maguire was in this movie at one point, and his character was completely cut out of the movie. You don't even see
Wow.
him in there. So and there's, like, an extended version of this somewhere out there, that you can, I think, rent or whatever, but it doesn't add to it, and you're absolutely right. It doesn't make any sense. Like, where are the cops at? Where, like, all these people are just rioting in the streets for this part. Like, yeah, the night he says, "I'll sell it to you cheap," and he has $9,000 in this, crumpled up cash. He's like, "Yeah, we're good." That's not how business
That was a
works.
$9,000 that was like it makes that was due. So it makes no sense. It was like
doesn't make any
I was
sense.
gonna say, did I miss something? He
No.
owed him $9,000. So he basically just gave him to him for free?
Yeah, that is essentially, if you think about it and you think about it too hard, yes, he just got that store for free.
So all of that was all for nothing other than
Yeah.
for him to realize that the business sucks. But hey, okay. Well, anyways, yeah.
It was just so everybody could have a happy ending, and that's
Yeah.
that's what does not happen in the next movie that we're going to talk about, which you did not rewatch, which I also recommended to everybody on the show that they do not rewatch this movie, which is 1995's Kids, which has a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, so a little bit better than what we had been doing. We're going in worst to best order of percentage wise. What do you remember about this movie? And if we can get into it. It's, I mean, I just, in my notes, I just put what the fuck.
Yeah, I think what I remember, I did watch it back in the day. So I must have watched it like 95, 96 or whenever it was on. And I just remember it like being pretty like dark and real and almost like scary because I grew up in a time where it was like, if you do drugs, you are going to die. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's the messaging that they still give kids, like DARE and whatnot. But it's like, here's your brain on drugs, and there's the eggs, So that I felt like I was programmed with that my entire life. And if you had sex, you would also get AIDS. So that was like I was terrified of both those things growing up, and I think this movie kind of addresses those things pretty head on and likely in a real situation. And then I just remember like the movie ending with like the lady basically getting AIDS, so or HIV. So that's all I can remember from watching it 30 years ago. And yeah, I don't think I ever was like, oh yeah, I should rewatch that movie. I think it briefly even came up on the podcast we did, and I was gonna like seek it out and watch it, but I think you were saying like, oh, it was like banned on these formats, and like, why is it banned? I'm like, maybe I shouldn't even find out. I'm just gonna like,
That's a Wikipedia deep dive.
yeah, I'm just gonna leave that. I was like, I'll just maybe leave that one alone in memory. I don't want to be on like a list for like, I don't know, whatever. So I was just
luckily I did the research for you, and I did watch the movie. I found it on an Australian version of Amazon Prime, so I did watch it. It feels like a documentary almost, and it feels very true, real life. And it feels like these kids just roaming New York City and doing whatever the hell they want. They beat up a man at one point to the point where you're not sure if that guy died or not. They just beat him up for no reason. There's a lot of like, all the characters in this movie are underage. So there's a lot of, sex and a lot of drug use. The main character of this movie, he is a guy, like he's 14, 15-year-old boy and his whole thing was like, I love having, sex with virgins. That was his goal the whole time. And he is just walking through the streets of New York doing that, not realizing that he has AIDS and that he has given other people AIDS. And that is the extent of this entire movie. It does lead to an SA incident at the end of the movie. And that's why I said, I don't recommend this movie to anybody. It's a hard watch. I had never seen this movie and was told for years that it was an important release of the 90s because it said something about, our culture and teens and urban settings and sex and drugs and what the kids of that time were up to. But, going back 30 years and watching this, it's just, geez, like.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, obviously, I'm I'm sure that exact situation has happened, sadly, like
Mhm.
I mean, there's no, I mean, sadly, there's no doubt at all that something like that has happened probably more times than anyone would like to think, right? So, but yeah, I think at that time also like what a contrast that is to like these cheesy, weird. I mean, there was more serious movies in the '90s though
Mhm.
too, for sure, but a lot of them are just kinda goofy, they lighthearted, they didn't take themselves too seriously, I felt. Maybe that's just what I was attracted to though too.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking of it, there was more serious movies, but, that one was a little just different level, like
Yeah.
that next level type stuff, right?
It
So,
is it is definitely, not a rewatchable movie for me. I don't think I'll ever go out and rewatch that, and,
yeah.
I'm it's fine. The screenwriter went on to do other movies. He did some other controversial movies like Gummo. I don't know if you've ever heard of Gummo.
No, no.
Spring Breakers. That was that came out in the last like 10, 15 years. Same guy that did that did this movie. But he wrote it. I mean, he was a teenager when he wrote this movie. So he was writing from real life experience and his life. So that guy's Harmony. His name's Harmony Korine. If you want to look him up, you can do that. But skip kids. It's not a great movie. It's not an enjoyable watch by any means. So let's talk about Angus. I am glad, like when you told me that you watched 3 out of the 4 of them, I was like, hell yeah. Like I did not expect you to go back and watch all 3, but I was like, he'll go 2 for 4. I know for sure he'll go 2 for 4. But what'd you think about Angus?
Yeah, a movie that, I never watched. I think it was because the title, is Angus, and also, admittedly, I was, vain in a lot of my movie picking where I looked at the cover, and,
Hmm.
it was
I
like
mean, that's what you
it's
did it like Blockbuster and everything. You
right.
looked at the cover. That's what you're going to watch.
Yeah, and so just one of the movies that I skipped, and geez, I feel like I watched so many things because we went on this and on before, but that was like that's all we had, and I would go to local rent movies, grab VHS almost every day. I think I would be like trying to rent a movie,
Hmm.
just because that's kind of was was a main source of entertainment. And yeah, skip this one. And yeah, I actually overall I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was kind of a feel good thing, like a this fat nerd in high school was getting picked on, and I could relate to that because I was a fat nerd in high school that got picked on, except I didn't do any cool stuff about it. I didn't like have the kind of like the redemption arc that, or not that he like needed to be redeemed, but he kind of came out on top, and actually the whole progress of the movie actually made sense. It was actually like mostly believable and relatable and real. And I thought, I'm glad this, if nothing else, I'm glad that we did this just for be getting exposed to that movie because I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's I remember watching Angus mostly because my sister was into Green Day at the time, and there was an extra Green Day song on this Angus soundtrack. The soundtrack for Angus is incredible if you're a '90s music fan. So you can check out all of the. I think there's a Green Day song on there that was unreleased and a Weezer song that was unreleased. If that's the kind of music that you're into, but yes, I feel the exact same way that you're saying. Like I was a fat nerd in high school and fat nerd in school, so Angus really kind of hit home for me. Interestingly enough, there are 3 Oscar award winners in this movie, which is
Really?
crazy to think about.
Um,
The grandpa is an Oscar award winner. He won
okay.
for Patton, old movie about General Patton. Kathy
Okay.
Bates
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
for
Okay. Okay.
Misery, and
Yeah.
then the
Yep.
dance teacher who gets no lines at all. She was in West Side Story in the '60s and won
Okay.
Oscar. So I said, out of all these movies, we have 3 Academy Award winners in Angus, and that's why it's so great.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was gonna be expecting with this movie, and Yeah, like the stereotypical, the jocks or whatever that were mean to Angus and his friend. Trying to think of what his friend's name is.
I just know him as the Shermanator from American Pie. That's all I remember him
Oh
from.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So like, and he was that kid was getting stuffed in lockers, and um, yeah, and just like the mean things that they would do to Angus, like took his underwear, flew it on the flagpole and stuff like that. And thankfully, nothing like that extreme happened to me in high school. Uh, but but yeah, it definitely was. Yeah, it was kind of, it had this like real feel to it where it's like, okay, the grandpa lived at home and they kind of had that, uh, you know, like the grandpa would fall asleep and then they played the music to wake him up and whatever. And the grandpa was giving just some really good words of wisdom, to trying to teach him that, like, screw everybody else. No one matters. Like, this is just essentially this is just high school kid, nothing's
Yeah.
going to matter. And, so I thought it was like yeah, I was definitely impressed with it. Sure.
Yeah, and one thing about all these movies too is that they come in an hour and a half. They don't have those kind of movies anymore. Movies aren't made for an hour and a half anymore. But it gives you the story. It's a heartfelt story, and it's enjoyable. And that's one thing I really, really like about Angus is that it delivers on that front. So
Yeah, and also like towards the end you find out, and geez, I should have taken I thought I remember, but it looks like I don't remember the the prom queen's name. So
mhm.
basically the joke of the movie is that, that they nominate Angus for the prom being a prom, you know, king, um and he clearly knows it's like a joke. He's not like unaware. He's not unaware that this is, like serious or whatever, like really people believe that he should be. So anyways, it just shows at the end that this queen or whatever is just as anxious and nervous about being the on the spot as he was. And I thought that was actually like pretty, like, usually movies are not reflected in that way, like these movies, like going back to high school, usually it's like, oh, more like the clueless mean girl
Mhm.
type of situation, where I thought I wasn't expecting that. I thought, it's like, oh, she's kind of a nerd too at
Yeah,
heart, I
and
guess.
just as nervous and has her
Yeah.
own problems, and I think that's the biggest lesson. I mean, yes, the biggest lesson is screw him, as his grandpa keeps telling him over and over again. But the other lesson is we're all struggling out here, and we're not all perfect. I'm not always pretty, and I'm not always this great. She talks about having an eating disorder, and Angus can't understand that, but he also has an eating disorder too, I guess we should say, but his is the complete opposite of hers. But yeah, I think it is about like, hey, we're all struggling through high school, and we don't all have it together, and we're not all James Vanderbeek, the high school quarterback. So
Right, right, right.
and E from Entourage is in this too. If you ever,
Yeah, it took me a while. I'm like, where is he from? And I'm like, I didn't want to look it up. I was just see if I could get it. But yeah, then it hit me as like, oh yeah, it's E from Entourage.
nice little appearance from him. He has a pretty interesting 90s. He was in I think Beverly Hillbillies around this time too, the movie that was made. He's all over the
Okay.
place in the 90s. But
Okay.
all right. So we've watched our four movies. What if you had to rank them? You rank the three that you did. Kids is obviously my least favorite. So that's out of there. But how did you rank the other ones?
Well, I would say Angus is one.
Mhm.
Then man, two is tough because it's like in a way, I kids is last for me just because like
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even really. I I just kind of wanted to avoid it, and it's just a downer, and that's not really my thing with movie. Like
Yeah.
I will watch like a downer type of movie or show or something like that, but I gravitate towards more like escaping for fun. Like I don't really have enough. There's enough stuff in life to feel. Like
Yeah.
I'm good with like just having more fun with things. Um, geez, I guess I'm just gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna own my hackers in my top 5, and let the nostalgia win out there. But I do think, really, I think Empire Records is probably the better movie of the two. But
Mhm.
I just gotta. I'll throw number 2 to Hackers.
I think that's a good choice. It's so funny that we keep talking about how I shit on Hackers, but I ended up enjoying Hackers a lot this time around. I think, I went into it, I was like, hey, I'm going to give it a second
All right.
chance, but I had
Well,
a lot more fun with it.
yeah, because you knew it's not good. Like I was
Yes,
thinking,
yeah.
like, nah, man, Cody's wrong. Nah, Cody, no, he was wrong about this. And
Sometimes I am wrong.
no, you're right. It was a
Well,
harsh reality.
yeah, that's okay. All right, so let's get away from some of these movies. I have a series of questions I always ask new guests. I think, hopefully, I gave you
Yep.
enough warning so that you can answer these. So, first question: what's your favorite movie? Or if you can't decide on a favorite movie, do you have a top 5 of
Okay,
all time?
so yeah, I'll rattle them off here. And just to preface this, I'm not a film buff here, so be nice to me, but feel free. I'm in the Discord. I'm in your Discord, so feel free to jump by and give me some crap, and even people that are in the video game happy hour Discord, hit me up there too, and feel free to give me some crap on this. So again, I'm going with more like these are not like again, these aren't best movies. They're just movies that kind of replay in my mind over and over again from the past. And usually there are older movies, and that's again why I kind of was gravitated towards what your project is doing. So from bottom up, I've got on and works out perfectly here. Number 5, Fifth Element. 4, Groundhog Day. Number 3, Back to the Future 2, but I like all of them. I actually really love all of them, but 2 is my
Yeah.
favorite because it's that kind of like I like the future thing element. Like I watched this at a point in my life where I believed and expected the future to be like this. Okay.
Mhm.
And I've been let down a lot. There's no hoverboards, there's no flying cars. Barely have like I think they did create the lace the automatic
The power laces.
power laces. I think those are out there as a special edition. No microwave that kind of like like with the whatever oven you put like a little
Oh
tiny
man, I really wish the pizza thing existed.
yeah.
The hydrator or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. None of that, dude. It's so disappointing we're not there yet, but still I think the movie is great. It just always kind of played in my mind all the time of like what I expect the future to be. Empire Strikes Back is my number 2. Love Star Wars, like specifically episode 4, 5, and 6. The rest, no thanks. And then my number 1, I have to own it, and just my favorite because something it's like comfort food for me is The Goonies. It's like my
Oh yeah.
favorite movie.
Hell yeah. No, nobody should roast you for any of those movies at all. That's an incredible top 5. Goonies is one of my favorite comfort movies of all time. Like easily. And all the Back to the Futures. I just got Back to the Future 2 on VHS this past
Nice.
week. So
Sweet.
I have completed my Back to the Future collection over there. No, those are all good. The one I've seen the least out of your top 5 is Fifth Element, and I need to go back and give that movie another watch. I remember enjoying it a lot, but it's one of those movies that just it didn't catch me at the right time. But everything else on your list, I freaking love. Those are all great movies.
Awesome.
I love that you've got 2 sequels in there, which is very interesting. Empire Strikes Back and Back to the Future 2. I love it. It's good. Empire's the best one, so you're right.
Yeah, that one grew on me. Like for a long time, Return of the Jedi was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I aged, that would be like my one. I kind of switched that one, the Empire, just because I realized how, like, what a fantastic, story. I mean, it's debatable how unique of a story it is, but I don't know. I don't care. It's my number 2.
Hey, and one of the things that I want to encourage everybody who's watching is own up to your movies that you love. Don't be afraid of liking a movie like Hackers. Yeah, you might get made fun of a little bit, but you like what you like, and not everybody's going to like the same thing. And that's what we try and do over here, is just encourage people to watch movies and enjoy what is out there. Yeah, not everything's going to be amazing. Do you remember the first movie that you watched, or do you have a favorite from your childhood? Obviously, you named a couple in there that are from your childhood. So
yeah. I don't remember the first. I think, like, technically speaking, I think the first movie I remember ever watching a part of is Fox and the Hound.
Oh yeah,
like at the drive-in, like way back. I probably was like 3
Mhm.
years old or something like that. Just super young, but I wrote down a few real quick here. Just shout out to, like, childhood favorites. Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Hell yes.
Never Never Ending Story.
Yes.
Karate Kid, and Labyrinth. So those movies, and I still like those movies to this day. Like, I still watch them kind of as comfort food things, and of course Goonies, but I've already
Yeah.
made it in the list. But
No.
yeah.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, you just made a friend for life. There's one of my best friends from college. That's one of the things we bonded over, was our love of Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. So
Yeah, it's not well known. I'm glad you know that. I was wondering if you and your community would recognize that one, because I don't think I watched that in my school. I think I was like in 2nd grade or something like that. My school had like some showing after like after school or whatever in the
Mhm.
auditorium, and my mom liked it or something. She's like, "Oh, well, let's go see it," and went to go see it, and yeah, I don't know, it just clicked for me, and I love it. I still hum the songs.
Mhm.
It's just, man, what a simpler time that was, and such a fun movie.
For real. What was the last one you named on there?
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Oh,
Yeah.
I have a thing with Labyrinth that is, you're either a Labyrinth kid, and this is, in our age range. Anybody that doesn't haven't heard of either of these movies just won't count. But you're either a Labyrinth kid or you're a Dark Crystal kid, and I was a Dark Crystal kid.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a guy in our Discord that's like the same. And you know what? I've never seen Dark. I don't know
That's
how.
how
I
it
feel like
is.
I've seen parts of it. I don't know if it, like, I don't know. I think by the time I was like gonna rent movies or whatever, I was towards that teen age where I was
Yeah, so
like,
you're not going
I'm
back.
like, I'm not, I don't know, that's kid, I don't, so I never, didn't they do like a Netflix thing or something with,
They did, yeah. They remade it. Or not remade it, they added, like, to the story. I think there's a Netflix series about
okay,
it, so no.
okay.
That's my theory, is that you're either one of those 2, 'cause I didn't see Labyrinth until, I mean, it's been within the last 10 years. I love Labyrinth. It's great, and definitely a special movie. You have any favorite actors that you gravitate towards?
So, um, yeah, so so I put together, I'll just rattle these off really quick. This was actually harder. Like, it's funny. Like, there's so many talented. At first, when I saw this question at the top of my head, I was like, I don't even know. But as I started like putting together a list, I'm like, all right, I gotta stop this. I gotta stop. Right. So I have more male, I have more, of men than women on here. So I apologize, but I just, they just stand out more to me. So so we're gonna go Denzel Washington, John Candy, John Ritter, Ryan Reynolds, Harrison Ford, and Robin Williams.
Ooh.
So, and there's so many other ones. Like I'm thinking like Joe Pesci, Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Like there's so many talented. But again, like, and it just is reflective of me. I think I'm just kind of like I think of like people in these more lighthearted roles. Like Denzel Washington is not, but that guy's just so damn talented. He just has
Yeah.
always stood out to me. Is just someone that's just like I don't know. I don't know what you film buffs feel like one of the goats is, but
No, he's
I-
definitely up there as one of the GOATs.
okay.
I only ever wished he did more comedy movies, just to stretch it a little bit. But no,
Yeah, that's true.
Denzel's
That's true.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the rest of that list is amazing. I mean, I love John Candy. That's like a warm hug of something to watch, like Uncle Buck, and you see him show up in Home Alone and all those movies. Like, I love John Candy. Robin Williams is kind of the same way. Just fun movies. You can always depend on him being amazing in anything, whether it's, you know, a funny movie like he is in Aladdin or Mrs. Doubtfire, or he can do the serious roles too.
Yeah.
That's a great list.
Such a talented guy. What do you think about John Ritter? I feel like that
Man,
is,
when you said John Ritter, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I love that John Ritter pick. Not really
Yeah.
known for many movies, but like he was all over Problem Child. I remember John Ritter in Problem Child when I was a kid, and
I mean,
I love
Three's-
John Ritter. Three's Company, yeah.
It's just like something about him is like he's just such a fun like I don't know. It's just like he exudes fun. And the same thing with Ryan Reynolds. For me, it's like he just seems I don't know. Ryan Reynolds is kind of like one note. It's like he's always Ryan Reynolds, you know? But I don't know. It's just like a fun personality to me personally. So
No, I love that John Ritter pick. If you could, and you don't, some people don't have an answer for this, but if you have, is there an actor, if you could pick anybody to play you in a movie, who would it be?
oh, can I? I'm sorry, I didn't give love to the ladies here. Sandra
Oh.
Bullock,
Oh, I
Sandra
knew you
Bullock,
loved Sandy.
Julia Roberts, and Natalie Portman, and then I could probably come up with a longer list here, but I think those three stand out to me as like I usually will watch like even just them being in a movie. It's like they're just very like I don't know. I just like what they do. So
Oh yeah, we're big Sandra Bullock fans on this podcast. We've done Speed, we've done While You Were Sleeping, Demolition Man. We've done. She's in that one too. So,
and shout out to The Proposal. Has
is such a good one.
Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, two of my favorites.
That's a good one. All right, so we got that.
So the actor, so I didn't know, but I'm shout out to my mom. Shout out to Mom Crafty here. She always says, and this is her, not me, but she's like, "You look like Ben Affleck."
Okay.
She's like, "You look like him." I'm like, "No, Mom, I don't." Too many people. I know, but she just always says it. She's like, "You look like it," and like people tell me like, "Your mom posts on her Facebook that like you look like Ben." I don't use Facebook, I think, but I get told that. So shout out to Mom. That's what that's her pick.
I like that.
So.
I like that. That's always a hard one for people because you're like, I don't look like anybody. I look like me. But I can see the Ben Affleck of it all. So that's a good job, Mama Crafty. That's what I have to say. Do you have any hot takes on any movies? Like that's one of the things that we're here to piss people off. So anything that would be controversial.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'm hoping to even maybe get out of this is like I know you're kind of specialized in like the 90s movies, and I will keep, and I think I'll probably find some movies that I missed along the way that I'll watch. But I kind of feel like this. Here's my hot take: is I think movies recently are kind of mid.
Mhm.
I don't really, and I think that's more of a me thing than movies thing. But I just don't. Nothing really speaks to me lately of like, go watch this. It just seems to be more so like they don't take chances. I don't know. Again, I'm not educated in this, and so I just hear about like, oh, this movie came out, and I'm like, I don't know. Nothing really is doing it for me. And I have like one of your other questions, what have I seen recently? So there's a few movies that did come out recently that I did like, but so that's my hot take.
Yeah, no,
Is movies were better back in my day.
back in my day. Yeah, Shakespeare's the cloud. Chat says there's a lack of variety in movies. And
Yeah.
if you think about like some of the stuff that we watched in the 80s and 90s, is I think of a movie like Jurassic Park. Like we don't have that. Holy shit! I just saw a dinosaur on my screen and it looked real and it exists. We don't have that anymore because they just do 10 Jurassic Park sequels now. So it's all about getting that intellectual property, that IP, and just milking it for everything anymore. You don't have those original movies anymore, those original stories. So I do think there are some good movies here, but I get what you're saying with it. Absolutely. So.
And to add to it, it's like, so I do watch things. So like, I feel like TV is kind of like
king right now? Yeah.
Yeah, I think TV, and that's probably more so why I feel like that is because I'm just so busy watching like TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I'm very selective with the TV that I watch. But I feel like there's just some great TV shows like like Severance, White Lotus, Fallout, Andor, like just to name a few that are out there. I just get more into it, and I feel like also I think there's like I feel like a lot of times what misses in movie is like the character development. It's so hard to do in such a short amount of time. It's such a hard thing to do, and that's why I feel like TV shows kind of give that extra character development if done correctly. So
that's probably what you've been watching a lot recently is all of those shows, especially like Andor. I guess it just came out with its next or new final season.
I'm waiting for a few episodes to queue up, but yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that.
Any movies though that you've seen recently that have really stood out to you?
Yes. So oddly enough, like I was kind of like putting off watching the Marvel movies like Infinity War and Endgame, and I'm not like I was a huge comic guy back in the day, and then I got burnt out, and I'm like, I'm done with all these movies.
Yeah.
But I finally gave in and watched them recently. They're actually much better than I thought they were going to be. But that's like my honorable mention. And then my recently that I watched that really enjoyed is the two Dune movies. I really, really enjoyed those, and Furiosa. So I like that as well. So I'm a big sci-fi guy. So those are spectacles, and I enjoyed Furiosa is like the story. It just was such a masterpiece of like a visual storytelling, and so I love that. So just to give you kind of like my modern taste of movies. So I'm happy for recommendations of like sci-fi things, and so yeah.
I love that because Furiosa was one of my favorite movies of last year. So and I love Dune. I think Dune is perfect, and they've done that perfectly. So I'm fully on board. I did not enjoy the 80s Dune as much as I thought I was going to, but that's a different.
I never watched it.
It's a hard watch, I promise. Okay. Anything you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to I assume there's another Dune, right?
Yeah, Dune Messiah is coming out in the next couple of years. So
yeah, so that's really it for me. I don't really keep tabs. I'm kind of like I think we're probably like dissimilar. I don't think you're keeping too close to tabs on games, and like movies. I'm kind of like, if somebody's talking about it, that's really all I don't really go seek it out too much.
Yeah. Are you a Black Mirror guy? Somebody in the chat just asked.
So I watched the first episode, which is like the
pig one.
Yeah, the pig one, and it kind of creeped. It was just like, what is this about? And I never watched another one again.
That's what always happens. Somebody will recommend Black Mirror. If you have a bad friend, if somebody recommended you Black Mirror and didn't say skip the first episode, watch the second and third episodes, and then come back maybe to the first one. So I'm sorry that happened to you. See?
Yeah, no, I might have to give it another shot.
There's a really good, and you don't have to watch them in order. You can just pick and choose because there's no
Mhm.
like storyline. But there's one that's like a Star Trek-esque one, and I think they're actually a sequel episode to that one. Find that one and watch that one. It's really good for that sci-fi-ness for you. But any movie recommendations to end on? They don't have to be new. They might be something that you're like, hey, everybody should just watch this movie because it's good.
Um,
It doesn't
I
have to be a
I
movie. I'll give you a TV too if you want.
Yeah, then so then I'm gonna so for TV, like the ones that I would highly recommend. Um I'll just make it specific about, since I'm the video game guy here, is Fallout. So if you haven't seen Fallout, it stands alone as like a good TV show. It's really as not, it doesn't need to be having an understand what the game is somewhat helpful, but not necessary.
Okay.
So that would be my that's what I would leave you on is check that out. It's very well done. Amazon, I always get nervous anytime Amazon is doing anything because I've not been a huge fan of things that they've done necessarily. I just feel like they've kind of been cheap. And this blew my mind. I thought it's very graphic. Like it's not like I'm not like a guy, I get grossed out by things, but it's definitely like it has some, it's not overly gory. I don't know why I said that, but it's serious. It's
got
like
violence,
it's kind of like it's serious but campy. I don't know. It's really good, and it's got Walter Goggins in it. Which shout out to another. I'd say watch White Lotus if you want like great acting, and like the cast of like White Lotus. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but
oh yeah,
the cast is like they always. It just impresses me how they get such phenomenal actors in the. Like I just love that show because it's just the cast they always put together is just amazing. So
yeah. We like White Lotus over here too. So good recommendations, good answers to all those questions. Crafty, thank you so much for being on here and doing this with me and going back in time and talking about these movies when we were younger. Catch Crafty on Video Game Happy Hour. Go over to his the website and follow him again. Subscribe to that podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Get in their Discord. It's a really fun place too, and yeah, they've got some great stuff over there. So thank you, Crafty. Next month we'll be doing another extra credit theme month, and this one is actually more about those sci-fi films that we're talking about from the 90s. It's our Back to the Future theme, which has nothing to do with the movie Back to the Future, just a fun title. But we're going to be talking about Johnny Mnemonic, Judge Dredd, Virtuosity, The City of the Lost Children, and Tank Girl. And we'll be doing that at the end of May. That'll be May 28th. So be sure to check that out. Make sure that you get enough time in there to watch all those movies and do that. And join us this coming Sunday, as we talk about Rob Roy. That's our next one on our regular broadcast. So Crafty, thank you again. And we'll see you all next time on 52/1995.
yeah, thanks for having me.